Good afternoon. Welcome to the May 23rd Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meeting agenda. I'd like to just say the weather's great. Hope everybody's enjoying it finally. I've been out cutting lawns at the Air Force Museum. We're getting ready for the big air show coming up, and hopefully people are buying their tickets for that. Anyway, first of all, are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Online, nothing. Okay, seeing that, I need a mover and a seconder for the approval of the agenda. Ron, Mr. Guest, second. Councillor Kotzefos. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Passed. Okay. We also have a need for approval of the minutes. We need a mover and a seconder for that. Councillor Reid. Councillor Just. Any comments or questions on that? Nope, nothing. All in favor? Passed. Okay. Is there any public input? We have a member in the gallery today. Okay. You're welcome to bring up a topic of your choice. Okay. We have no delegations or presentations. Is there any correspondence coming? Nothing? No correspondence? Okay, basically we're going to turn the meeting over to Director Grimmin. She has two things. I'm just going to let her take over and tell us what she's up to today.
Great. Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair, to the committee. Just sharing some updates following our last meeting with regards to where we are at with the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. So I've got a couple slides pulled together here. So just to kind of start off, we have kicked off the official project of the Parks and Rec Master Plan. So this is a project that is going to take the better part of the rest of the year to complete, and then get us in a position to bring a draft plan to council for council's review and approval. The plan itself, as we've discussed before, the intention of that is for it to end up being a 15-year plan that we can look at how we guide the city in terms of future investments in parks and recreation around the city. To date, as far as some of the updates, we've officially launched the project, and we have contracted our consultant, Think Design, who's been engaged as part of our RFP process to work with us on this. They did attend last week here into the city. They did 2 days of site tours with us, so we spent a very busy 2 full days with a packed agenda both days. We spent the first day reviewing sites in Trenton, Sydney, and Murray. So we looked at kind of our main recreation facilities, our community open spaces and parks. We took them to places like the Trenton Arena, the Trenton Marina. We took them to Mount Pelion. We went and saw sports fields and various kind of premier spots around the city. We also highlighted some of the rural sites. In day one, we went out to Hart's Corners, we went to Tucker's Corners and saw Centennial Hall there. We took them to the YMCA, as that's also a city facility. And then on day 2, we really focused our attention on a lot more of the rural population. We were out in Montrose Park. We went to Frankfurt and saw the arena, the splash pad, the tourist park, and the different operations there. We toured through Battawa, the community center, and a number of other different sites that we tried to pack in. We ended the day at 55 King Street as kind of an extra bonus site for them to see as well. So definitely a lot to take in terms of the current inventory of parks and facilities that we've got around the city. The consultant will kind of take that information back. They were certainly very engaged in our tours, asking all the right questions, and I think they certainly have the right people at the table to undertake this work. So yeah, we're very enthusiastic about the start of the project getting underway. The next stage that we're also into now is some surveying. So as part of this project, as I mentioned in the last meeting, there's fairly significant public engagement that we will be undertaking as part of the project to kind of inform the information that we will bring back as part of the draft plan and the information that comes back to council. We really do want to make sure that the community feels heard and that they do feel like that this is, their plan. As much as it is the city's plan, this really is, the community's input at work here. So currently we've got 3 different surveys underway. We've got a community-based survey that we've got online right now, open till the middle of June. We've got a staff and council-based survey, and then we've got another targeted, what we're calling user group and stakeholder survey. So that's going out to a lot of the major sports organizations, the minor hockeys, the ball organizations, the soccer groups, the core users of our permitted facilities to find out, if the facilities are meeting their needs, if there's future opportunities that we can look at to support the growth of both the population of the city and the growth of sport and recreation initiatives here in Quinte West. So I have included the link there, the link that you'll see on the screen, quintewest.ca/Parks and Rec Plan. We tried to make that as simple as possible. If you've been driving around the city at all, you may have seen that also mentioned on some roadway signs. We've done advertising in each of the 4 wards. You'll see some imagery for that project. We've got some electronic roadway signs, really trying to drive traffic to complete that survey right now. While we've got that open. So we've certainly seen good uptake so far, but if I could ask for the committee's support in amplifying that in any ways that you have available, I would certainly appreciate that as well. Is there any questions on that? Yes, Councillor.
A couple. Could you give just a real quick brief outline about the consultant again, just a review, like where they're from and any projects that might come to mind that we could be looking at? Other cities, let's say, they've looked at?
Yeah.
That's one question. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Through you, Mr. Chair, to the committee, with respect to the consultant that we've engaged, Think Designs, certainly well-versed in master planning. They're currently undertaking and have just recently presented to the council in the Sioux a master plan. I can certainly share the link to their website where it outlines other projects that they've undertaken as part of the portfolios that they deal with. They've also engaged other consultants that are subject matter experts to really fill out and support this project as well. So that's information that I'm happy to share with the committee. But I would say the most recent is the one in the Sioux. I think they just presented that last week while they were here doing the site tours with us. So it's a great project to be following as well.
I was just wondering, Director Grimman, has any of the 3 school boards been involved in this process at all about their use of the facilities or how they could help with their facilities?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Whitney. So we did set up a list of groups that we wanted to consult with as part of this project. So when we sent out the surveys, aside from just doing a general call out through our media channels, our social media, the city's website, we also had some targeted groups that we wanted to make sure that got captured. The school boards were all included in that ask to complete the survey. I know even this morning I attended a breakfast meeting with the Hastings Prince Edward School Board and was in a conversation with the Director of Education about the master plan and just to talk about how we can connect some of their feedback in as part of this as well. They were thrilled to be part of the project and we'll certainly be hearing their input along the way.
A follow-up with that question. Would they use their social media or emails to their parent groups, et cetera, to help promote that survey completion? Did that bring that up?
Certainly something I can ask them. Yeah, I'm happy to get all the support that we can to spread the word as far and wide as possible.
You mentioned to me about some other promotional ideas. You were recently, I'll let you fill in the blanks.
Yes, through to the committee, yes, we're also looking at ways to kind of incentivize participation, whether it's through contesting, draws. We may be issuing some further communication about that in the coming weeks, just to really make sure that we drive that survey traffic up. Further to the surveys, I do just want to mention that there will be other opportunities as the plan progresses for public input. So this is kind of the first stage where we really want to, provide the community with an opportunity to both, fill in some questions that are populated, that are a bit more direct. Also within that survey opportunity, there's the chance to just, plug in your own feedback and information in kind of a blank box. And, if a question you don't feel has the questions within the survey haven't answered what you had hoped, there is the opportunity for you to add your input in that as well. We will, in the next stage, be doing some randomized telephone surveying with the consultant, and then we will also be doing some in-person open house engagements in August. So more information on that will come, but all of that will continue to be updated to that direct link at quinnewest.ca/Parks and Rec Plan.
Great. Any other questions? Councillor Reid? Councillor Reid.
Thank you. I don't think this probably is pertinent to this because this is Parks and Rec. But I know last time when we had a study done of the area and what things could be done, the consultants came back having not been given the information that, for instance, I'm going to talk about our area, but there are other areas in each ward. But the fact that they wanted to develop Bata Island, that cannot be developed. So I would hate for them to go ahead and include that in any of their project updates as what we could do with that. They also wanted to have camping along the Merge Road that goes underneath the canal bridge, which is Canada land. It can't be developed. So I just wanted to know if when you were doing your tour for the 2 days with them, if you pointed out to them those types of things of, don't suggest something for places that are not, we're not able to develop.
Thank you, through Mr. Chair, to Councillor Reid. Yes, there was many of those discussions. Certainly, the consultants are not from the area. They are they're based out of Toronto, and yes, there was many of those conversations that took place over the course of the 2 days, where we did kind of spitball ideas and concepts. I think because we are in such close contact with them, we are engaging with them on a very regular and, sometimes daily basis. I really don't think that will be a concern because we will be able to flag any of those things early on. They really are looking at, the properties that are developable within the city, whether those are existing parks or facilities or whether those are neighborhood parks to come in future stages of development in the city. So certainly something we'll keep in mind, but I don't see that being a major concern for this project.
I knew it was before, and they're from out of town. They're from Toronto. They have no idea that that's federal land. That can't be touched. Bata Island cannot be touched. There are other places around each ward, Sydney, Murray, Trenton, and Frankfurt ward, that can't be touched. So I would hate for them to spend time and promote something that is not attainable. And last time, I presume they did put a lot of time into it, but you can't have camping along a road that goes to a lock and a canal. They look back and they say, oh, that looks pretty good. That's a nice place to have it. So if you can keep on top of that, Jacqueline, that would be good, to make sure that they're not spending any time on that and focusing on places that are usable. So thank you.
Follow up to that type of question. Are directors Chris Angelo and Brian Jardine involved in that kind of discussion, or as a resource, let's say? Because they know everything about everything.
Yep, through Mr. Chair, yes, absolutely. All departments within the city are engaged in this project, and all of senior management also received the survey link along with council.
Councillor Boyce, no? Okay. Is there any more to this?
Yep, I've just got a couple more slides. So this is some of the imagery that you'll see as part of the plan. We've got some billboards out around the community right now. We've got one in each ward, but then this is also some of the imagery that you'll see on our landing webpage, on the city's engagement page, and we'll continue to kind of keep a look and feel for this project moving forward. So as of now, as I mentioned, the real call to action is to drive traffic to the surveying. Certainly want to make sure we get as much input as we can. I did just want to point out as well how simple it is to take the survey. We have a engagement platform at the city that we call Get Involved. So this is just a very brief overview, and I will send this slide out, or these slides out to the committee with the minutes that go. But very simple. It takes less than 30 seconds to register and to complete the survey. The survey itself takes about 10 to 15 minutes. We want to make sure that we are covering all the bases, but to actually get in and be able to register to take the survey, less than a 30-second process. So just going onto the platform, registering, signing up with just a name and email address, that will create a user account for you, and then you can just register to sign up. So it is that simple. I have just included a couple of the screenshots. This is the main page of the Get Involved platform, and you'll see the blue arrow up in the right corner that's pointing to the register button. And then this is what that registration page looks like. So that's it in its entirety. Like I said, less than 30-second process. And this just makes sure that that we're really kind of capturing, where individuals are coming from. If they are members of Quinte West, we do want to make sure that the survey participants are really invested in this community and what we plan to bring forward as part of the draft. Again, this looks very, very similar. We will kind of switch gears moving into the project once we get out of the surveying, just to kind of educate about what the project is about. That information right now is currently available on that link and on the engagement platform, but we will kind of change that call to action from taking the survey to learning more and getting involved in the plan. I know we discussed questions, so I'll just, yes?
Any questions? Yep.
Director Grimman, I was just wondering what drove the sequence of having a screen name as opposed to using their name. Is there a reasoning behind screen name versus like the person's name itself? I realize it's an anonymity issue. Is that the only issue?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Whitney. The user can certainly choose to include their full name as part of their username. Some people like to be identified using only their first name and not their last name. So we do allow people to create a unique username in the system. It's also to avoid duplication when people are setting up accounts.
Okay, sorry, as a continuation of that, then there's some monitoring going on to what these people are saying and who's saying what?
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Whitney, we do get reports out of the system with the results of any surveys that we do conduct. So that is information that we are able to download.
Yeah, I'm just more thinking about filters and that kind of thing. Like anonymity being what it is one of the great problems, according to the government that we have, that people say whatever they want to say under anonymity. There is some filter to this process?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we are, instead of just sending out an anonymous survey link that they can just click right into, there is that added step of registering and kind of identifying that, you're either a resident or that, you want to be engaged with the city in this way. So it does create a bit more accountability on the person's part that is completing the survey.
Perfect, thank you.
Related to that, can somebody from outside of Quinte West fill out that survey? The reason I ask is somebody visits here and says, oh, gee, it'd be nice if they had this or this and this, and there's an opportunity from an outside residents adding to our situation, a lot, as opposed to, I'm going to use the word crackpots, just doing it.
Through you, Mr. Chair, so yes, we are accepting feedback because we do have a lot of individuals that might visit here, that use our parks and facilities for hosting sports tournaments, different events, but might not necessarily reside here. The survey, if you're to take the survey, you will see that there are certain questions geared towards if you are a resident and if you live here and in which ward, so that will kind of filter out some of that information as well.
On to stage 2.
So through Mr. Chair to the committee, I just wanted to provide a brief update. At our last meeting, we did have a report on the agenda with regards to drop-in pickleball. That report was approved at the committee level and then did go on to council. So I did want to just follow up with the committee and let everybody know that we have implemented we are in the process of implementing the free drop-in pickleball program that we had discussed. So last year, I'll just remind the committee, we did implement a kind of a pilot project at the Trenton Arena, whereby the staff painted pickleball lines on the arena floor surface, and we opened that up to drop-in play in a manner similar to how we operate free public skating. Was certainly well received, and as per the report that came to committee at the last meeting, we discussed the fact that it would be nice to offer that in Frankfurt as well, and really increase the offering of drop-in pickleball to up to 4 days a week across the city. So this is some imagery that you'll see going out. We did start that promotion yesterday through some of the city's channels, and you'll see information in different places to promote this free program that we've got coming in June, July, and August. You'll see the information there about the fact that in Frankfurt, we will be offering that on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 to noon, and then in Trenton on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to noon. So certainly just want to thank the committee for their support and their guidance on that in getting this implemented. We've certainly had good feedback about this from the public so far, and really look forward to seeing, what the traffic looks like, and if this even is something that we can enhance in future. I will just mention further to this, and this is just information that's kind of evolved this week, is we have been in conversation with the Quinte West Public Library. They have graciously supported this program by purchasing what we're calling lending kits through their lending library program. So if individuals that want to try pickleball that might not have access to their own equipment want to give it a try, they can access equipment through the lending library program through the Quinte West Public Library. The kits include 2 rackets and a ball that you can bring to the program, and all the nets are already set up, and like I said, the lines are painted and ready to go. So again, just want to thank the committee for that, and certainly I'm happy to provide a bit of a report back at the end of the season, just to let everybody know how the project was received.
I'm coming back to my questions about scheduling. I used to run a health club, we used to have squash, and I used to run badminton socials and all this, and there was always that element that hogging the court kind of thing. And if pickleball is so popular, you may be extending hours and all that. I personally think that you should have some kind of etiquette board set up or something that you and I can book from, say, 9 to 9:30, whatever the time slot is. And if it's open when I get off, I can book again. But if it's full, I can book maybe later. If you understand what I mean. Monopolizing the court time.
Yep.
Because I don't think the staff at the rinks want to deal with that kind of thing. And they want to please, I think the players will police themselves, but there are still some who are more assertive than others, and others will sit back and just let it happen to them. And I've witnessed this many times, so I'm just sort of trying to make you aware of that.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. Certainly something we're happy to monitor as it goes. It was not an issue last summer, and we were happy to see that everybody was very respectful of the individuals that showed up to play. If there's more uptake this year, I think that's great and certainly positive. And now that we've got additional times and sites available, hopefully that provides some more opportunity. We will have what we're calling rules of etiquette posted that we are hoping people abide by. It won't be a staffed necessarily program, but our staff that are on site can continue to monitor, and if there are any adjustments that we need to make, then we can work with them on that as well.
Boyce, Councillor Boyce, your hand up.
Yep. How many nets are we setting up at each facility?
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Councillor Boyce, we've got 4 courts at each facility. So there'll be 4 nets at each.
Looking forward to it.
Great.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Reid?
Yeah, I just noticed, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just noticed on the Facebook page that it's going to be wonderful. I know it is, but it says bring your own equipment. It doesn't, I presume that most people that play pickleball know that their equipment is the paddles and ball. I just wondered if there'd be any confusion about the nets. That was my concern when I read it. Do we need to put something on there that nets and lines are there, or?
Through Mr. Chair to Councillor Reid, we will have some follow-up communication with respect to the development of the lending library kits, so we can look to see if there's any opportunity there to add any of that verbiage, just in case there is any confusion.
I just wondered if some people would think, oh, I better bring a net too, so. I suppose they come the first time with their nets and it's not needed, then they know. So, problem solved.
Great, thank you.
And they use indoor balls, correct? I had it on. Is there any new business? I'm going to go around. Mike? Nothing? Ron? Councillor Boyce?
No, thank you.
Councillor Reid?
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I have just a couple. Back to speed bumps in Centennial Park. Is there any progress on that, or has it been shelved? Because soccer season's underway, special events in the park are going to be starting up soon. Big soccer tournament in the fall as a calming measure, traffic calming measure.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'll have to get an update from our Public Works Department and follow up with you on that.
Okay. Also, a thought on Trip Boulevard, for example, they have these children signs to stop, slow down. Any consideration of maybe a couple of those throughout the park, or would that be a distraction maybe?
Through you, Mr. Chair, those are specific to the community safety zones around the city, so they are placed strategically to align with those community safety zones. I believe that the supply of those that we have been placed, but again, I can follow up with the Public Works Department with your feedback.
Okay. So I need somebody to move to adjourn. Councillor Kotzavos, Councillor Reid, all the hands go up. And our next meeting is, when is our next meeting? July 25th. 25th. Oh yeah, there it is right there. Okay. Meeting adjourned.